My name is Katie, and my world shattered the day my mother, Elizabeth, succumbed to the merciless grip of cancer. The disease consumed her slowly, stealing her vitality and leaving her a mere shadow of the vibrant woman she once was. In those agonizing months, I witnessed the cruel dance of hope and despair, clinging to the possibility of a miracle while silently preparing for the inevitable. Katie, my darling, my mother would whisper, her voice weak but filled with love. Promise me you'll stay strong, even when I'm gone. You are capable of so much more than you realize. Tears streamed down my face as I held her fragile hand, feeling the weight of her words sink deep into my soul. I knew she was right, but the ache of losing her seemed unbearable. She was the pillar of strength in my life, the one who always had the answers, the one who knew how to chase away my fears. As I navigated through the fog of grief, life carried on with its relentless march. I found myself surrounded by well-meaning friends and family, their sympathetic glances and soft-spoken condolences offering little comfort. It was as if the world had lost its color and moved through the days in a haze of sorrow. Amidst the overwhelming pain, a nagging thought took root in my mind. My mother, being the successful businesswoman she was, had amassed a considerable fortune. In her will, she had intended for it to be passed on to me, her only child. But as the days turned into weeks after her passing, a feeling of unease settled within me. It was during one somber evening, as I sat in my mother's study surrounded by the remnants of her life, that the phone rang. Reluctantly, I picked it up, expecting yet another sympathetic voice on the other end. "Hello?" I said, my voice barely a whisper. A sharp, unfamiliar voice responded, dripping with condescension. "Ah, Katie, dear, it's been a while, hasn't it? I'm sure you've heard about your dear mother's unfortunate demise." My heart skipped a beat as recognition struck me. It was my mother's ex-husband, Raymond Whitmore. His reappearance in my life only heightened the turmoil I was already experiencing. "What do you want, Mr. Whitmore?" I asked, my voice filled with both anger and vulnerability. He chuckled, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Well, darling, I've come to claim what's rightfully mine. You see, your mother and I may have had our differences, but I am entitled to her fortune. She owed me, and now it's time for her debt to be repaid." I felt a surge of anger well up within me, mingled with an indomitable sense of protectiveness toward my mother's legacy. This man had abandoned her, leaving her to face the world alone in her darkest moments. And now, in her absence, he sought to take away everything she had worked so hard for. With gritted teeth, I spoke the words that resonated with my newfound determination. "You will not succeed, Mr. Whitmore. My mother's fortune belongs to me, and I will fight for it tooth and nail." The line went silent for a moment before he chuckled once again. "Oh, my dear Katie, you're just a grieving girl. What chance do you have against me?" The weight of his words hung in the air, taunting me, but in that moment, I made a silent promise to myself and to my mother's memory. I would not let him destroy everything she had built. I would find the strength to fight, no matter the odds. Little did I know that this glimpse of loss was only the beginning of a battle that would test my resilience and push me to the very limits of my endurance. Days turned into weeks, and my determination to protect my mother's legacy grew stronger. But just as I was beginning to find some semblance of stability amidst the chaos, a knock on my door shattered the fragile peace I had managed to create. Reluctantly, I opened the door, my eyes widening as I faced the last person I expected to see, Raymond Whitmore, my mother's ex-husband. His presence reeked of arrogance and entitlement, filling the room with an air of tension. "Well, well, well. If it isn't little Katie," he sneered, his voice dripping with disdain. "You thought you could keep me at bay, didn't you? But I'm not so easily dismissed." My heart pounded in my chest, a mixture of fear and anger fueling my response. "What do you want? Mr. Whitmore? Haven't you done enough damage already?" He chuckled, his eyes narrowing with a cruel glint. "Oh, my dear girl, you have no idea what you're up against. Your mother's fortune rightfully belongs to me, and I won't rest until I have it in my hands." I stood my ground, my voice quivering but determined. "You abandoned my mother when she needed you the most. You have no right to claim anything from her." He stepped closer, invading my personal space with a sinister smile. "You underestimate me, Katie. I have evidence, legal loopholes that will make your fight futile. It's best for everyone if you just give up and move on." Anger surged through my veins, and I mustered the courage to challenge him. "I won't let you tarnish my mother's memory. I will fight for what she left for me." He let out a cold laugh, dismissing my words. "You're a naive little girl, Katie. You have no idea what awaits you in the real world. Mark my words, you will regret crossing me." With that, he turned on his heel and left, leaving me shaken but more determined than ever. I knew the road ahead would be treacherous, but I refused to let his empty threats deter me. Over the following days, the weight of Mr. Whitmore's presence lingered like a dark cloud. I received intimidating letters from his lawyers, each one designed to weaken my resolve and push me to give up my claim. Insults and belittlement were woven into every word, but I refused to be intimidated. In the face of this onslaught, I found solace in the support of my close friends and family. They reminded me of my mother's strength and encouraged me to keep fighting. One evening, as I sat with my best friend, Emma, in a quiet corner of a cafe, she placed her hand on mine, offering unwavering support. "Katie, I can't imagine the pain you're going through," Emma said softly, her eyes filled with empathy. "But I believe in you. Your mother would be so proud of your determination." I nodded, tears welling in my eyes. "Thank you, Emma. It's just so hard to face him, to face the memories of what he did to my mother. But I can't let him win." Emma squeezed my hand gently. "You won't, Katie. We'll find a way to fight back, to expose his true intentions. You deserve justice, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure you get it." Her words ignited a spark of hope within me, reminding me that I wasn't alone in this battle. Together, we would face the unwelcome visitor and prove that his greed and cruelty would not prevail. Little did I know that the path ahead would be filled with unexpected twists and turns, pushing me to my limits and testing the very essence of my strength. But I was prepared to face whatever challenges lay in wait, for the sake of my mother and the legacy she left behind. As the days turned into weeks, the battle against Raymond Whitmore intensified, and I found myself entrenched in a relentless struggle to protect my mother's fortune. It became a war not only against the man who sought to take it away, but also against my own inner demons that threatened to consume me. Whitmore's tactics grew increasingly ruthless, as if he reveled in the pain and suffering he inflicted upon me. He would corner me at social gatherings, his eyes gleaming with malice, and mockingly taunt me about my chances of winning. "You're just a little girl playing at being an adult," he sneered, his voice dripping with derision. "You have no idea what it takes to fight for what's rightfully yours. You'll crumble under the weight of your own ignorance." Each insult he hurled my way was like a dagger to my heart, reopening the wounds of my mother's loss. But I refused to let his words break me. Instead, they fueled a fire within me, igniting a fierce determination to prove him wrong. In the midst of this emotional turmoil, I sought solace in the unwavering support of my lawyer, Rebecca Hartman. She was a formidable woman, known for her tenacity and unyielding pursuit of justice. Together, we strategized and devised a plan to combat Whitmore's cunning moves. One evening, as we sat in Rebecca's office surrounded by piles of legal documents, she looked at me with unwavering determination in her eyes. "Katie, I won't sugarcoat it. This battle won't be easy," she said, her voice laced with steely resolve. "Whitmore is relentless, and he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. But we have something he lacks: truth and righteousness." I nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope amidst the storm of uncertainty. I trust you. Rebecca, I know you'll do everything in your power to help me win this. A rare smile crossed Rebecca's face. That's the spirit. Katie, we'll expose his true intentions and dismantle his web of deceit. You deserve justice, and we won't rest until we achieve it. With Rebecca by my side, I faced the demons that threatened to consume me. I confronted my fears, reminding myself of my mother's unwavering love and the strength she instilled in me. She had faced her own battles, and it was time for me to carry on her legacy. The courtroom became the arena where truth clashed with deception, where justice hung in the balance. I watched as Rebecca stood before the judge, her voice resonating with unwavering conviction. Your Honor, my client has been subjected to relentless manipulation and attempts to rob her of her rightful inheritance. She argued passionately. We have evidence that proves Raymond Whitmore's true intentions, and we ask for justice to be served. As the trial progressed, the evidence we presented painted a damning picture of Whitmore's greed and deceit. His facade crumbled, and the truth was exposed for all to see. The courtroom seemed to hold its breath as the judge delivered the verdict. In light of the evidence presented, I hereby rule in favor of the plaintiff. Katie, as the rightful heiress to her mother's fortune, the judge declared, his voice firm and resolute. Relief flooded through me, mingled with a profound sense of vindication. The battle against Whitmore was won, and justice had prevailed. I couldn't help but think of my mother, knowing that she would be proud of me for fighting with every fiber of my being. As I walked out of the courtroom, I felt a weight lifted from my shoulders. The demons that had haunted me were finally laid to rest, and a newfound sense of strength filled the void within. The victory wasn't just about the inheritance. It was about reclaiming my power and honoring my mother's memory. Little did I know that this triumph would mark the turning point in my journey, leading me toward a path of healing and self-discovery that awaited me in the chapters yet to be written. After the hard-fought victory in court, a sense of relief washed over me. Yet the weight of the battle still lingered, leaving me yearning for a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos that had consumed my life. It was during this period that an unexpected ally emerged, offering a glimmer of hope and a shoulder to lean on. One day, as I ventured into a local bookstore, seeking solace among the rows of books, I noticed a woman sitting at a corner table, engrossed in a novel. There was an air of kindness and warmth about her, something that drew me in. With a hesitant smile, I approached her. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" I asked, pointing to the empty chair across from her. Looking up from her book, she smiled warmly and gestured for me to join her. "Not at all. Please have a seat." I settled into the chair, feeling a sense of ease in her presence. "I'm Katie," I introduced myself. She extended her hand with a gentle smile. "I'm Emily. Nice to meet you, Katie." As the conversation flowed, I shared snippets of my recent struggles and the battle for my mother's inheritance. Emily listened attentively, her eyes filled with empathy. "That sounds incredibly challenging," she said, her voice soft but filled with conviction. "No one should have to go through something like that alone. If you ever need someone to talk to or support you, know that I'm here." Her words resonated deeply within me, and for the first time since my mother's passing, I felt a glimmer of hope that there were still kind-hearted souls in the world. Emily seemed to understand the depths of my pain, offering a refuge from the storm that had become my life. In the following weeks, Emily and I forged a friendship that became an anchor in my turbulent journey. We would meet for coffee or take long walks in the park, engaging in conversations that spanned from lighthearted banter to the weightier matters of life and loss. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, Emily turned to me, her eyes filled with genuine concern. "Katie, I can't help but admire your strength and resilience throughout all of this," she said. "But I worry about the toll it's taking on you. It's essential to take care of yourself amidst the chaos." I sighed, a mixture of gratitude and weariness coloring my voice. "It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure. But having you as a friend has made a world of difference. Your support has given me the strength to keep going." Emily reached out and placed a comforting hand on mine. "You're not alone in this, Katie. Together, we'll navigate the challenges that lie ahead. You deserve happiness and peace, and we'll find a way to reclaim them." Her unwavering support touched me deeply, reminding me that I didn't have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders alone. With Emily by my side, I felt empowered to continue the journey, to heal from the wounds of loss, and to embrace the possibilities that lay ahead. Little did I know that our friendship would become a lifeline, guiding me towards a path of self-discovery, where healing and growth intertwined, paving the way for a future that held not only justice for my mother's legacy, but also a newfound strength within myself. The final chapter of my tumultuous journey was a culmination of resilience, unwavering determination, and the unwavering support of those who believed in me. It was a chapter where justice would prevail, and I would finally reclaim what was rightfully mine. As the court date approached, Rebecca and I meticulously prepared our case, poring over every detail, ensuring that no stone was left unturned. We were armed with undeniable evidence, a strong legal argument, and the unwavering belief that truth would prevail. On the day of the trial, I entered the courtroom, my heart pounding with a mix of nervous anticipation and a steely resolve. Sitting beside Rebecca, I glanced at her, seeking reassurance in her eyes. "You've come a long way, Katie," she said softly, her voice filled with pride. "This is your moment to shine. Stay strong, and we'll fight for what is rightfully yours." Her words echoed in my mind as the trial began. The courtroom buzzed with tension, and I found myself scrutinizing every expression on the faces of the jury, hoping to discern their thoughts. Rebecca stood before the judge, her voice resonating with unwavering confidence as she presented our case, dismantling Raymond Whitmore's claims with precision. The courtroom listened intently, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. As the trial progressed, witnesses were called, testimonies were shared, and the truth unfolded like a compelling narrative. The web of lies spun by Whitmore slowly unraveled, revealing his true intentions and the depths of his deceit. Rebecca approached the witness stand, a key witness by her side. She asked the crucial question that would expose the final piece of evidence, the piece that would cement our victory. "Mr. Whitmore, can you explain the forged documents that we have uncovered?" Rebecca's voice was firm, her gaze unwavering. A hush fell over the courtroom as Whitmore faltered, his confidence waning. The truth had finally caught up to him, and there was nowhere to hide. I have no explanation," he stammered, his voice tinged with desperation. I was trying to protect my interests, to secure what I thought was rightfully mine. Rebecca's cross. Examination continued, expertly highlighting the flaws in Whitmore's claims and unraveling the web of deceit he had spun. The truth became undeniable, and the scales of justice tipped in my favor. The moment of triumph came when the judge rendered the final verdict, her voice filled with authority and conviction. "I hereby declare that Katie is the rightful heir to her mother's fortune," the judge proclaimed, her words resounding through the courtroom. "Raymond Whitmore's actions have been deceptive and manipulative, and justice demands that he be held accountable." The weight of those words lifted an immense burden from my shoulders, and tears of relief streamed down my face. The battle had been fought, and victory was finally mine. Rebecca embraced me, her voice filled with pride and joy. "You did it, Katie. You fought with unwavering strength and emerged triumphant. Your mother would be so proud."